This is the first time I'm experiencing this. This is the first time that I've experienced war in Goma. This war has caused a lot of damage, but at least we are still breathing. There are a lot of people who have been disabled, and so many people have died, and we don't know how far this war will go.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is on the brink. In a stunning escalation, the M23 rebel group, allegedly backed by Rwanda, has seized control of Goma, the largest city in the volatile east. Perched on the edge of Lake Kivu, Goma is more than just a city. It's a gateway to the region's vast mineral wealth. And now, it has become the latest battleground in a war fueled by power, resources, and deep-seated ethnic rivalries. M23, a shadow force that first emerged in 2012 and resurfaced in 2022, claims to defend the rights of Congolese Tutsis, accusing the government of persecution. But their offensive, launched in January 2025, has been anything but defensive. It's been swift, brutal, and unrelenting.
We entered the city on the first day, and the FARDC surrendered. But the next day, a faction of their forces remained in resistance, which led to further clashes. It is unfortunately because of this that we have seen so many fatalities, if we speak in terms of number of deaths.
By January 26th, the rebels had stormed through Goma's key infrastructure, taking control of the airport, government buildings, and national media outlets. By the next day, they declared victory. Yet, the DRC government insists the fight isn't over. The toll has been catastrophic. In just a few weeks, over 773 people have been killed, nearly 3,000 injured, and more than 400,000 forced to flee. A staggering humanitarian crisis that is only deepening.
I saw bodies stacked like the bags of WFP, rice. At the hospital, they were arranged like stairs. They would remove them, body by body, and then you can come and look. We had a hard time watching. The courtyard of the General Hospital was full.
The city is suffocating. Roads are blocked, aid is cut off, and the airport remains under rebel control. Civilians are trapped, desperate, and running out of options. Reports of executions, sexual violence, and mass looting paint a grim picture of life under rebel rule.
The situation in the ground actually is very catastrophic. We are still counting how many of these people died after the President Kagame decided to attack Goma. Yesterday, the first number we get was telling us that there were more than 2,000 people who've been killed and more than 3,000 who've been hurt, and some of them need to have some close treatments. And we are hoping that no one will die between those 3,000 people. That the situation in the ground, it's very dramatic, and that the urgent question for the government. We are working to find a way to send them some assistance to make sure those we need to be treated can be treated with all the medicine we can send from Kinshasa.
This conflict is not just about territory. It's about control over eastern DRC's riches. Gold, coltan, and other precious minerals have long turned this region into a war zone. And once again, the battle for power is spilling blood on its streets.
The soldiers asked me for money, and I told them I had nothing. Then they fired bullets. One that hit me and another missed. Then the neighbors fled.
Rwanda's alleged role in this war looms large. The country has repeatedly denied involvement, but many see M23 as a proxy force, helping Kigali extend its influence and counter Congolese militias tied to the 1994 Rwandan genocide.
I have 7 children, all born during times of war. Every time I get pregnant, I give birth while we are fleeing, and I continue with a newborn.
Meanwhile, the Congolese army is in disarray, outgunned, disorganized, and struggling to hold ground. With M23 pushing southward toward Bukavu, the question now is, can DRC's forces turn the tide, or is this just the beginning of an even larger collapse? The world is watching in alarm. The United Nations and Western governments have condemned the violence, calling for an immediate ceasefire and for Rwanda to step back. But diplomacy is failing. A crisis summit, led by Kenyan President William Ruto, has yielded no breakthroughs.
Silence the guns. Stop the escalation. Respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Uphold international human rights law and international humanitarian law. There is no military solution.
And as the rebels tighten their grip, fears of a broader war grow. Neighboring countries are on edge, and civilians, caught in the crossfire, face an uncertain, terrifying future. The stakes could not be higher. A diplomatic solution is desperately needed, but with every passing day, peace drifts further away.